Hello, and welcome to another Bloobcast Blooblet, our semi-regular mini-episodes discussing topics that don't necessarily fit into a full episode. Today is a bit of a wild card, as it were, because a couple of weeks ago we went to London Film and Comic Con at the Kensington Olympia, and we thought we'd do a little video kind of talking about our experience.
Yeah, it was a very, very fun experience. I mean, it's the first time throughout, the 2 years we've been... I want to say 2 years now that we've been dealing with COVID, that we actually all got together to go to a convention, It was really exciting. Where do we want to start? Should we start with the old journey there, as it were?
Yeah, it was mostly fine until we got to our last train station. We were told it was like a 5-minute train from, I forget which station it was, and there were loads of cosplayers there, and it turns out waiting for was like every 20 minutes or something stupid like that, and we kept waiting and waiting for this train, and it kept saying it was going to come, and it never did. And I think Euan was getting a bit fed up, so we were just like, let's just walk.
I made the executive decision that we were just going to walk, because the train was apparently going to take 20 minutes, and it would take about 20 minutes to just walk there. So yeah, that's what we did.
Yeah, save some time. Yeah,
it was a matter of it was almost like a game of follow the cosplayer. We just were like, right, where are the cosplayers going? Is that where we need to go? And then we've actually found out where we needed to go. It was, the train situation. So we're like, right, let's not follow the cosplayers. Let's just find our own way there.
So look for people in weird trench coats. That they're usually a good sign that they're a cosplayer.
Even getting inside was just a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. There was you
had to do your COVID thing, you had to do your bag search, and you had to do this long trek through that. I think it's because it's made for long queues, but we were quite early, so...
I know, so we had to keep walking back and forth through all the railings and stuff like that, and then get to the end. The COVID stuff I didn't mind, because I understand, it's they want to keep everyone safe and all that, but, god damn that trek, man. When we finally got inside, though, we were presented with stalls, loads of stalls for us to go to, and that was pretty exciting. We all got... there was, toys and stuff like that, for merchandise for things that we all love and grew up with.
I got way too excited for the Birds figures, even though I already owned said Thunderbirds figures.
Yeah. In fact, straight away, the first thing we actually did, if I remember correctly, is that we went to see that artist that Rob was familiar with that worked on Beast Wars.
Yes. I saw that on the website when we were talking about which day we were going, and I saw this man called Simon Furman. I briefly mentioned him in our Beast Wars episode. He's written a load of Transformers comic books, starting with the Marvel UK comics in the 80s, and he was also the writer of the last episode of Beast Wars. Yeah, we did go to stand quite early, as James said, and he signed my copy of The Gathering, which was the first of 2 Beast Wars comic stories he wrote. And he sold me on his new comic series, To the Death, which he described as being very 2000s inspired. And I was like, yeah, this sounds like my thing. I took the plunge, bought the 5-issue slipcase. I do recommend the series because I've read those first 5 issues and they're brilliant. We did also speak about his work on Beast Wars. He said he loved the episode he did. There's a whole thing of first started writing the episode. It was just going to be an episode somewhere in season 3. Then as it went on, it was the last episode of season 3, then the last episode of the whole series.
So I turned up dressed as an alien from the Alien 1979 film. I dressed as a crew member of the Nostromo, but also along with my my USS Sulaco hat from Aliens as well. And so that was really fun. It was the one time I bought these white trousers years ago, and finally I had an excuse to wear them, because all the Alien cast still have these white trousers, probably to emphasize all the blood that gets on them later. Because I was very excited, because there were a lot of big Alien names in that, a lot of celebrity like actors who'd been in Alien and Aliens were turning up to the event, and I was very excited. So that was my main plan. Was that I wasn't, I'm not really someone who buys much merchandise. I own one Funko Pop, and that's it. And it's a Breaking Bad one, so
which I finished watching recently.
Which James enjoyed Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never.
I still haven't seen it.
I don't. I mainly just go to Comic-Con because I want to meet actors that I've been a huge fan of for years. So I was very excited about that, because you literally just see them all just at their stalls, just chatting away to fans and signing the books and whatnot.
At the start of this convention, I'll be honest and admit that I was not a happy bunny at all, if I'm honest. I was actually probably the grumpiest old git on the planet. I actually feel quite bad for this, but basically, while you and Rob kind of having a good time and stuff like that, before the convention, a person I was meant to be seeing called Bernard Cribbins, who is a Doctor Who actor in both the original Doctor Who movies with Peter Cushing, and also the Russell T Davies episodes with David Tennant. He's Donna's father and one of the companions with the Doctor. He's one of my favourite actors and one of my favourite companions for the Doctor, actually. And I was really excited to meet him, but obviously he had to cancel, which is absolutely understandable. I mean, with COVID and everything like that, it's absolutely understandable. I'm not sure what his reasoning is, but we can respect that.
He's very elderly. He's very old.
Oh, when I told my dad that he was going to be there, my dad was surprised that he was still alive.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because he was famous when my dad was a kid, and my dad's he recently turned 55, so yeah, that shows how long he's been kicking around.
So I absolutely can't blame him for not wanting to go. But what annoyed me was that I did not get a refund from Comic-Con. And I will say this, as much as I love London Film Comic-Con, it's very unfair to people, because I'm not the only one that's gone through this. It does not refund people for the tickets paid. They will simply give you vouchers, which you can use again at later conventions, or basically you can use it on their little gift shop on the website, which really sucks. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I paid for. They will refuse to give you a refund. It's in their policies. It's a very scummy practice, if I'm honest. And I was just fuming. In fact, throughout the whole convention, I was constantly trying to... I think Euan's noticed this. I was constantly trying to queue up to the sales office just to get my refund. I was like, for God's sake. But
we were very lucky, because we turned up at a point when the queue had mysteriously vanished, and we actually did manage to get there.
But that's not the only thing also. But eventually we did get there. But another thing happened is I was actually meant to cosplay at this convention. I was hoping to go dress up as the front man from Squid Game, who's like this sort of main villain antagonist. He looks really villainous and cool, he's very shadowy and stuff. I got the mask, but my jacket was delayed. It was meant to arrive at least 5 days before the convention. It arrived on the day of the convention when I was at the convention, so I couldn't dress up. So that was, and obviously I've been excited to cosplay for so long now. I'm still mad about that a little bit. I really didn't want to cosplay, and I didn't get that chance, and it's really gutting.
I mean, I was going to cosplay as well. I was going to cosplay as Leon from Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
But I made the mistake of just Googling cosplay UK, going onto some website, and then after a week, no contact with the website after placing my order, reading reviews of it, it's a very dodgy website. Luckily, I was able to contact PayPal and get my refund before they attempted to send anything to me. So
yeah.
Please read the reviews of websites. I'm making this really clear to everyone listening. Please listen or read reviews of websites before you buy anything. There are so many scam artists out there, who will put a flashy image up, and there'll be nothing else detailed wise, and it's so easy to get enamored with how good stuff looks. But please just take another few minutes to Google, because I've been in the exact same boat as Rob, where I've looked at stuff and gone, wow, that looks amazing, and then I've Googled the site and it's all just 1-star reviews. Avoid. Right, sorry,
that's all right.
Make that really clear.
No, that's cool. So yes, as Euan said, we did go to the tickets office at a time when it was not too busy, because we also, I think you needed to get tickets to go see Veronica Cartwright. Yeah, so you wanted to meet Veronica Cartwright, and obviously they could only accept tickets or cash, so he didn't have any cash on him, but we managed to grab some tickets at the tickets office. While there, I obviously queued up to the sales office, and I went up to the woman. I will just say this, the staff are awesome. I do not blame them at all, because this woman I spoke to, I literally came up to her and said, look, please, can you help me? I really wanted to meet Bernard Cribbins. I think she was also a Bernard Cribbins fan herself, because she actually said, oh, yeah, no, he's having a bit of a rough time now, bless him, and all that. And then she basically started off saying like, well, this is how I can do it. I can give you a refund for the tickets office, or give you tickets for the next convention when Bernard Cribbins comes. Stuff I already knew. And then I was like, oh, but that's not good enough. She jumped in and said, wait. What I can do for you instead is give you some tickets for today to use on other people, like other guests here at the convention. And I was just like, that is absolutely perfect. That's fixed the problem. You are an absolute hero. I think I actually did a little jump. I did a little Mario jump at the end, like, woohoo, and she laughed at that.
We'll conclude James' story later because it's the best part. It was the best part of the day.
Yes.
So we want to save that for the end because it was amazing.
100%.
But yeah, I met
Farscape guy.
Yeah, I met Ben Browder from Farscape. Farscape's one of my favourite TV shows of all time. I saw he was there, so I thought, yeah, let's meet him. I had a paid photo session with him, but I also got him to sign my Farscape Blu-ray box set. My interactions with him were very brief, but he was very friendly. So yeah, he was a cool guy.
Mm-hmm. And the same thing was also the case with Christopher Eccleston, who I also met, another Doctor Who actor. I mean, I don't know why I just said he's another Doctor Who actor. I think everyone knows who Christopher Eccleston is at this point. Ninth Doctor. Went to see him, got a photo of him on the TARDIS sort of green screen. And for the brief 5 seconds I spoke to him, he was also very friendly and very cool. We've got a back-to-back photo. Yeah, I've met Doctor Who. I'm very happy about that.
You met the best one as well.
Well, he's one of the best. I like
Tennant,
David
though. I'm a Tennant guy.
I'm a Tennant. I do like Christopher. But I mean...
he met the best one. Best one. Right. Let's talk about Veronica Cartwright. So we queued up because I realized already, because I think she arrived a bit later, didn't she? And
she arrived later.
There was already a queue, and for whatever reason, I think I was worried that because I didn't know how long people would stick around, and I was worried that she wouldn't be around all day. It turned out she was around all day, so it was fine. But I was worried, so I queued up. And Rob James very kindly queued up with me, and we waited. But then we had this whole drama with they said that they were only taking cash or these cash token things, like vouchers. And I was like, oh god, But luckily the guy who was with Cartwright very kindly let us run over and get these vouchers and then run back. So my first ever interaction with Veronica Cartwright, who I should point out was one of the actors in Alien, 1979. She played Lambert. My first interaction with her ever was just a second, and then I ran off and ran down these stairs and had to go get these vouchers. But then we came back, and the guy very kindly let us cut the queue and speak to her. And I was, I'm excited thinking about it now. I was just very excited to meet Lambert because I had this book I had called Alien Woman that I mentioned, or Alien Woman that I mentioned in our Alien review. It's basically a big feminist analysis of the Alien series, which is really great. And I figured, Veronica's an alien woman. She was in one of the films, but she's also in my other favorite sci-fi horror film, which is Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So I asked her if she could sign Veronica Cartwright, last survivor of the Body Snatchers in the book, and she very kindly signed that, and also signed her name, Lambert, and Nancy, the name she had in Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So she was a really lovely person, just really enthusiastic, and and really happy to chat with people. And I was really excited about that. It was great to just meet her.
Yeah, because later on in the day we went to the Aliens panel, which had Tom Skerritt, who was Dallas in Alien, Veronica Cartwright, and I forget his name, but the guy who played Drake in Aliens. And it's really interesting hearing their anecdotes from the films.
Mark Rolston.
Yes.
Which I also got a signature from.
And I bravely asked a question. I asked them about, because these are very adult films, what they thought about the toy companies making toys based on the films that were marketed towards children. I think Tom Skerritt was just like, don't really care. Veronica was disappointed she didn't get a Lambert toy. And
Yeah,
Mark was just like, if they're selling it to kids, that's a great thing.
That was great. Yeah, Ralston was a lot of fun. But yeah, he played Drake in Aliens, which is really cool. And we did meet Ralston later, as James mentioned. We did get a signature.
But just before we get to the best part of the day, I had a couple of surprising Jerry Anderson related encounters. As I had a conversation with a guy, I think this is while Euan was getting his picture of Veronica Cartwright, who did the artwork for the 90s range of Captain Scarlet toys, which I owned as a child, and it was fun talking to him about the various Jerry Anderson shows and kind of telling him about the CGI Captain Scarlet, which I'm a big fan of, but he hadn't seen for reasons we'll get into in a future Bloobcast. And but I think the coolest thing I got at the convention was I met a guy called Lee Sullivan, who's an artist who's done work for Anderson Entertainment, and he did I think he drew artwork for the 2000 Thunderbirds comics, which again are something I read as a kid. He was doing sketches, commissioned him to do a picture of Virgil Tracy and Thunderbird 2. And then when I asked him to do it, he said, Virgil? Don't get that one very often, which I'm assuming is sarcasm, given that Virgil is the most popular Tracy brother in the show. I remember I had to keep coming back to and seeing how he was getting on with it. But I was very patient with him, and I understood it was quite busy there. But when it was finished, it was amazing. I was really happy with it. And he signed it FAB Rob, which is just the perfect way to sign it. And I now hope frames on my wall.
Just before we jump onto the final bit, going back to just Veronica Cartwright, as I mentioned, I was in such a bad mood when I came to this convention. One of the highlights at that time, obviously this changed a little bit later on, but the highlight at that time was seeing Euan, just how happy he was when he was getting Veronica Cartwright's signature. He just looked like the happiest guy on the planet. I was just really like, oh.
I'm still excited. I think my life's goal now is to get the other alien woman, Sigourney Weaver, to sign the book, and then I'll have the book framed something.
It gave me some warmth in my cold black heart at that point in the time of the convention.
Yeah, Jamie's heart grew 3 sizes at that moment.
And then an alien burst out.
Carrying on, I got these vouchers. Happy ending. I decided, right, I need to go meet these people. I can meet Veronica Cartwright. I can go meet Mark Ralston. I can just meet all.
I think you're going to meet Nick Frost, but his queue was too long, and you're also going to meet, I think, George Takei as well. That was an option you had.
But then I found out it was like 50 or 60 odd quid or something like that, and I was like, nope. But then I saw Lance Henriksen was available as well. So what I did was I went to the comic book thing. I did obviously get a Star Trek comic, hoping George would sign it, but obviously that didn't work out. I still got that Star Trek comic, it's quite good. But I decided for the Alien actors that I would get this. I wanted to get an Alien comic that stood out basically, and I discovered a Superman versus Alien crossover, and it was the first of its like it's like a one-shot sort of series, and I got the first in the collection, and I was like, right, perfect comic. Let's go find the Alien actors. So then I first went with Euan and Rob, and we went to go see Veronica Cartwright. And then I popped the comic on the desk, and her reaction was hilarious because she literally looked at it and went, Superman? Like that. It was just like, what? So she was very amused by that, and she signed it. And what was it? Tell you what, let me just grab the comic now. It's actually right here. She wrote,
I know exactly what she wrote.
I like griping. Is it griping?
I like griping.
That's it. I like griping.
I like griping, which is one of her lines from Alien. Yeah.
Yes. And so I met her. Then I went to see Mark Ralston, and he was just very nice as well. He wore Euan's hat.
So I had my USS Sulaco hat.
Yeah. We had to wait a while for him because while they were in front of us, he was just happy chatting away with all these people in the queue.
Oh, he was so nice. Because normally you'd have to pay to speak to them for a bit and get a photo. He was like, yeah, just take a photo of me, why not? Pop on the hat, you know. Yeah. So he was very chilled out and cool, which I appreciated.
That was good. Yeah.
But I think ultimately, I think Lance Henriksen was the best. So he's an actor. He appears in Alien 3 as Bishop. He's also...
And Aliens.
Yeah, and Aliens as well. Yeah, and also he's
and he's in Terminator and a film Euan loves called Pumpkinhead.
Pumpkinhead, was directed by Stan Winston, who was like the big special effects guy who did work for Terminator and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, they were obviously long-time collaborators. And Pumpkinhead is this absolutely nuts horror film that he's like one of the leads in.
He also...
I didn't get any pictures of this, though, because the guys at the stand were like, no pictures.
They were quite strict, the guys there, actually. It was a bit weird. But
they can be they can be very quite.
There was
rude
one guy
sometimes.
that was particularly rude, and he was actually going to see Lance Henriksen. And normally you'd go to the person next to the guest, and then he could go get the signature. I thought that was the case for Lance Henriksen, but there was actually a person at the desk that you had to speak to at the front, so I didn't realise. And I went up to the person, and I got yelled at by a guy saying like, "What do you think you're doing?" No. And it was just being rude to me the whole time. And I was like, "Look, what is your problem?" Then, and he was just like, "Oh, whatever," and he just walked off. But anyway, so yes, also just another note on Lance Henriksen. He is also the main villain in Modern Warfare 2 Call of Duty as Corporal Shepard. I didn't actually know this until after the convention. I looked it up and I was like, "Oh wow!"
He's got one of those long careers where he basically turns up and improves every bit of material that he ever got. Like he's one of those actors, really. Veronica Cartwright was the same. I recommend Witches of Eastwick just for her performance alone in that. But yeah, Henriksen, if you see him turn up in a film, like, it might not be a good film, but he'll be good in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so we went up, I went up to Lance Henriksen, and the two lads came behind me as well, and basically I just gave him the comic to get it signed, and his eyes, like, he started beaming at this comic, and he just went, "James!" Because he knew my name, because they gave him a little note saying, "My name's James, please sign this," and stuff like that. He literally looked and went, "James, holy sh!" He was just like, "What?" Like, he was just reading the comic. He was like turning the pages, like looking at it, just like, "This is incredible." And
it was amazing. But I think it was a bit sad though. He said, something like, "This is one movie I'll never be in."
Oh no, that was really heartbreaking. He would be a great Superman, but basically, he looked at the comic. He looked at Darkseid, because Darkseid's on the cover, and he's like, "Who's this guy? Can I just, write all over him?" And I was like, "Yeah, write all over Darkseid. We don't care about him." And he got his pen out, and he looked at me and went, "James, I'm going to give you some advice." And then he just wrote down, "Be afraid," on there, Lance Henriksen. And I was just like, this guy is so cool.
he even signed it Bishop, which is really sweet.
Oh yes, he did. He put Bishop at the end there. We were actually wondering what that
I remember him saying as well afterwards. He paused. "I don't know who this guy is, but he's not going to be happy."
Oh yeah, he said that about Darkseid when.
That's wild.
And obviously Euan also offered him a nice little compliment as well. He said, like, "I love your work," which Euan's a big fan of his long career, which
I really am. Like, I actually am.
Yeah,
He's seen Pumpkinhead.
He's seen Pumpkinhead. And I've played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. We're all big fans of your work, Lance Henriksen. You're great.
Yeah. And yeah, he looked really chuffed when I said that. So I'm really glad I mentioned it to him at the end there.
We were the last guests. We were last guests to see him as well. Because he vanished after that.
Yeah, they cleared up. They cleared up after that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was just the coolest guy, man. Like, he was so enthusiastic. Oh man, it was just really cool. But yeah, that was
a good day.
It was a very good day. It started off bad for me, got really good, and now it's one of the most memorable days I've had in 2021. So yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, so this was a little bit longer than normal, but, we wanted to get everything in, because it is quite a cool moment for us guys, We got to meet our heroes, and, it's been so... We don't go to, like, Comic-Con that often now because of COVID and stuff, so, it's quite special. So, I hope you enjoyed listening to the Blooblet.
Keep your eyes out because our Lord of the Rings episode, Fellowship of the Ring episode, should be with you in a couple of weeks. And it should be with you before Christmas.
Bye.
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 Thank you for listening to Bloobcast. We've been Rob, James and Euan. You can find all of our episodes on bloobcast.com. We're also available on SoundCloud, Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
We also have a YouTube channel where we produce shorter episodes called Blooblets, where we discuss the latest news in popular culture. You can find us on social media with @BlueCastPod on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Please like, follow, and subscribe so you can get the latest updates on new episodes.
We also have an email address, which is bloobcast@outlook.com. So if you have any feedback or want to suggest things for us to review in our future episodes, please feel free to drop us an email and you'll get a shout out on the next episode. Please also rate and review us on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. More engagement helps us a lot. And finally, please share the podcast amongst your friends and family. Help spread the word so that the Bloobcast empire can become strong and mighty.